everybody. Welcome to the Spear Adventures Guild. My name is Dave, your humble host for a very exciting game. DM Shiv is back in the house and behind the Dungeon Master screen and is going to lead us into the Whisper Woods. And we'll get into that in just a minute. I just want to say thank you for everybody who's hanging out with us or people who might be watching this in the future on YouTube. Really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel, please consider following. And if you're already following, please consider a subscription. It helps us to improve our production value. It helps us to get character art and good things like that. So we appreciate your support for that. We do have a couple of quick announcements for the channel. We have been playing Shadow Dark like it's everybody's business in our Discord, and it's been absolutely fun. We've got a West Marches campaign going on, which means you can bop in and bop out for sessions. You don't have to be there every time. We run them for 2 hours. It's a very fun, streamlined way to play Shadow Dark. If you're looking for an opportunity to get involved and you want to play Shadow Dark, please stop by our Discord and get involved. We're running a monthly session 0 to onboard new players, and you can test it out and see if you like it. And if you like it, you might stick around and play more games. Shelly has been enjoying it. Yes.
Yes.
Shiv has been. Shiv got in on it. That's true. It is deadly. You do have to prepare yourself mentally. Yeah, you do have to prepare yourself mentally. But we do have a great group of people over there. A very fun community, and we've been playing a lot of Shadow Dark. So please come on over and check it out. We have a Tuesday night regular ongoing, I should say, campaign in Greyhawk, the Heroes of Greyhawk. And we would hope that you'd come on over and check that out on Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central. And we've got we've been teasing a new mini campaign that Minnesota Muse is going to be running starting in March, April, and May. We're going to have the beginning of her, I guess it's going to be dark. Shell, can you confirm? It's going to be a dark story.
Can confirm.
Yeah. The Outsider.
Dark and dope. D&D.
Ooh, whoa. Somebody trademarked that. Oh, D&D's already been trademarked, I think, hasn't it? I think so.
Yeah, okay. Something else will.
Anyhow, that's what I have. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate it. We've got a bunch of great content creators that we'll talk about, like Tabletop Audio and CZEPEKU for maps and all this good stuff. We'll post some links to that stuff. But Shiv, I want to hand it over to you. Tell us what's going on, and then we can introduce everybody and get this game underway. Welcome, my friend. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you very much. Yeah. No, thank you for allowing me to do this. This is a 4-part series. This is Tales from the Whisperwoods. This is episode 1 called The Hollow Man. And this will be a nice little jaunt into a mysterious woodland landscape where we'll see what happens to everybody. Who knows? Some may survive, some may not. I mean, they're level 1. What could possibly happen?
That's true.
So we will go around the table. We will introduce the players and then we'll get into this. So we will start off with Shelley, if you'd like to introduce who you're playing and tell us a little bit about the character and anything you'd like to plug.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Shelley. I was just gonna plug all the same things that Dave just talked about. Shadow Dark, super awesome. Come join us. How much fun do you want to have? If it's a lot, hey, here you go. And then also Greyhawks on Tuesday. Yeah, it's all been said. This morning, I'm playing Elle Gladstone. She is the eldest of 6 at a farm, the Gladstone Farm. She takes care of all the animals. She's very capable, takes care of her younger siblings as well. She is interested in what might be going on. She had a situation. I don't know if you want me to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
Like what
Spill them beans.
May have made her interested in what's happening.
Yeah, do it.
She ventured out into this area at one point and saw a weird thing, had a weird experience chasing an animal of her father's, and she kind of wants to find out what might have happened. It's weird. It's scary. It is defying explanation to her at the moment.
There you go.
And she has got like short. She's got very few feminine features about her. She's got short blonde hair. Straw. Usually there's straw in it. She's got farm gear. She's got flannel. Very weathered looking for a young 15-year-old girl.
She's got it all. She's got it all going on. Yeah, cool. Thank you for that. Now we'll move over to Ian. Let's hear about the well, it looks like quite the eccentric character you've got going on there. I think you might be muted.
Hey, I mean,
There we go.
or you're
Everybody's
big on all social media. I'm playing Lightfurther James, your wood elf druid, who's just, you know, your spice monger. Like he's got apothecary type things, your herbalist, just your normal average crazy old man coot type deal, with a peg leg. And so
Why not?
absolutely normal. There's nothing going on with him. Your standard everyday Joe.
Oh yeah,
Your standard
right.
every day.
Your
Run-of-the-mill
standard everyday
druid.
Joe. Like he's the most sane in this group. Yeah.
Okay, right. And is there anything else you'd like
All
to plug
lies.
before we? Yeah.
No. I'm gonna with the character. No, we're gonna let it ride out in the story. But if you want to know what
Perfect.
I'm doing next,
Yeah,
just
go for it.
follow me on Twitter. Yeah, that's the best place to know.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, next we'll go over to a dear friend of mine, a debut on the Guild Superior channel herself, Tony Shaw. Take it
Welcome.
away.
Hi, I'm Tony, and I am playing Celeste, the human bard. She basically makes her money and finds travels telling these tall tales, very elaborate, based on true events. Based being the real heavy. That word's doing a lot of work there, a lot of work. And yeah, she's coming this way. She's heading this way because she's heard of some interesting things, including a bit of money and potentially some very interesting stories that can be able to tell to make more money in the future. She's definitely here for very selfish reasons. It's all about the gain. It's all about getting that bag.
Yeah.
And making herself the most interesting person in the room, even if she is a total liar. You can find me every Thursday over on the Ampersand D20 Twitch channel playing Homebrew Havoc with Shiv. You can also find me most Fridays, although I literally just released the final episode of the series over on Roll the Damn Dice, the series we've just done. It's very good, not biased. Go watch it all. It's great. It's
Go
on
check it
YouTube.
out. It's a really good show. Yeah, definitely.
And the editing is really done well. I do all the editing. So it's
Great editing. I've noticed that.
Yeah, it's
the editing
outstanding.
It's real good. So yes, that's me. That's Celeste.
That's it. End scene. Thank you very much. And now we'll move over to Dave. Tell us about this Willy Wonka-esque character.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I'm super excited about this, Shiv. My name's Dave. You guys know me. You've met me before. Thanks for being here. Tony, welcome. Welcome to the channel. Ian, great to have you back. Shiv, great to have you back. Shelly, I'm just always amazed that you keep showing up, and it's awesome. So thank you for being here. Good day, friends. The name's Thord Kenai, purveyor of the finest alchemical ingredients and arcane components. My good dungeon master friends, let me ask you, are you looking for lodestones? Are you giddy for glowworms? Perhaps mad for mercury? Well, stop by Kenai's Keen Supplies, where you'll find the perfect constituents for your ensorcelments. That's Kenai's Keen Supplies, 8008135 Iron Crag Drive, for all your magical miscellany.
I thought you were giving a phone number.
That is outstanding. And you know what? I expect some sort of wacky inflatable flailing arm tube men outside your store.
Exactly. I am playing Thord Kenai. He is a traveling merchant and salesman, and is all of what he says true? Maybe, maybe not, but he is a highly enthusiastic adventurer and looking for sourcing some new supplies for his shop.
Perfect. We've got two unbelievable liars in the group. Great.
Welcome to our town.
Yeah, nice place you got here.
Yeah, perfect. Well, yeah, that's it. And I'm DM. I'm Shiv. Nice to meet you. This is me. This is my show for the day, for the next 4 weeks, 4 parts. This is part 1. So I hope you enjoy. We will get into this. Everybody ready?
Yes, very excited.
Perfect. Okay. Here we go. As the warm sunshine fades away, the temperature drops, and the weather takes a dramatic turn. The rainy season has arrived, unleashing its wrath upon the land and causing the once smooth track to transform into a treacherous, muddy bog. Now, only the bravest decide to traverse this with this perilous journey, navigating through the obstacles and braving the elements to reach their destinations. The skies are dark and ominous, and the wind howls with a fierce intensity. Despite the challenging conditions, the villagers of Levoca take it all in their stride, knowing that this is the norm for this time of year. They've already harvested all their crops, they've brought in their animals for the winter months to come, but the great woods that tower over this village paints a different picture. It's as if it's locked in time. The trees themselves don't tend to reflect the season that it's in. They remain evergreen and slightly unchanged. There's always a heavy mist that hangs across the forest floor. The nights are long and dark, and there is always strange noises emanating from the woods that most find rather unsettling. We cut now to a group of woodsmen hard at work gathering lumber for their winter stores in the cold months ahead. At the edge of the wood, rows and upon rows of scarecrows face out to the tree line. Standing tall and vigilant, their tattered clothes flapping in the wind. Despite their worn appearances, the scarecrows seem to possess an otherworldly presence. The eerie atmosphere they create adds to the sense of foreboding and uncertainty that winter can bring. And now we zoom into the village itself. It's late afternoon. Heavy rainpour has fallen, and there's plumes of smoke coming off from a very nearby funeral pyre that has just finished. And we go to a young lady who's happened to be watching this. She has short blonde hair. She stands there watching. She knows the person that was on that funeral pyre, one of the farmers that has dealt with her family before. This is Ellie Gladstone. As you stand in the shadows of the village, the air was thick with its acrid scent of burning. The last embers of Rip Bastion's funeral pyre flickers before your eyes. You turn your gaze to Dolph, his only son, who happens to stand nearby with his head bowed, gripping a large spear. Rumours have spread throughout the village that Dolph is intended to exact revenge on the very animal that gored his father to death, the prize bull. But the problem with this is, as you well know, that this is very unsettling and uncharacteristic. This was a bull that was always brought out at market time and never really showed anything but its normal behavior. But for one day, it decided to turn on its owner. No one really understands why or knows how. But he's decided that he can't quite carry on with it, can't go through with it. Because like his father, he loves this animal. But the grief was too much. So he decided to go back to his father's house. And you've heard stories of him just sat drinking alone. And that's pretty much what he's up to. As you watch, you have a vivid memory stares from the depths of your consciousness. A dream that haunted you just a few nights before slowly resurfaces in your mind as you watch the last flame flicker. You were transported to a dense forest where you searched for a pig. It all seemed very real to you. The absence of this pig weighed heavily on your heart, but for some reason you don't quite understand why, because you don't own a pig. You have some animals, but this pig seems odd to you. The raindrops fell relentlessly from the sky and mirrored the weight of your footsteps as you trudged through the damp and dense foliage in the search of your lost companion. Your heart quickens. You feel sweat on your brow as the anxiety begins to take hold. But yet again, you look down and you don't really understand why you're searching for this. You're just going along with it. As you press on, the tranquility of the forest was suddenly shattered by an eerie symphony of unfamiliar sounds. strange singing begins to echo throughout the trees. And before long, there's a dreadful, droning, buzzing sound. Before it goes to black. And you wake up the next day in your bed, the morning of this funeral. Suddenly, you begin to hear a voice shout, Tilda, Tilda, has anyone seen my daughter, Tilda? She's missing. She was missing last night. I told her not to go into the woods, but I don't know where she's gone. As you begin to lose yourself, as you stare into the flames and snap back to reality, you feel a weighty hand on your shoulder. And you look up, and it's your mentor, an old woodsman by the name of Ben Corbin. And he looks down and he's like, hey kid, are you okay? You seem to be somewhere else.
I was thinking about a weird dream I had last night.
What? What dream was that?
I was dreaming about a lost pig.
Really?
Buzzing and something's not right here, Ben.
Dream about a pig? He sort of looks around and he's like, well, Teresa, you know this is the woman that was shouting for Hilda. Her daughter's missing. She had a pig, Garlic, I think it was called, went missing. Is that, how would you know?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I spend a lot of time with animals and I have dreams about them all the time, but this one was exceptionally weird. There's trees snapping in the background and I don't know. I mean, it seems weird, right? That I had a dream about a pig last night.
I mean, yeah, you don't own a pig, do you? I mean, from what I've understand, this pig is kind of like a family pet. It's like a dog to Teresa and her family.
Yeah, this wasn't. I only really dream about my animals. This was not my pig. I know my pigs. I know my cows. I know my sheep. No,
Not yours.
not mine. Definitely not mine.
Can you give me a perception check, please?
Yes. Okay. Sorry, my thing was shut down.
That's fine.
22.
22. Geez, wow! You see into everything. As you're talking to Ben, you catch out the corner of your eye like a rustling from the undergrowth, just at the corner of the forest, and you see like a silhouette sort of battling its way through the brush. And then as you hear, you look over and you're like, "What the hell is that?" As the rain starts to drip down again, you hear like grunting noises as it draws closer, but it seems quite frantic. And as it draws closer, you recognize like a slight pig shape is bursting through the tree line, galloping as fast as it can, looking quite frothing at the mouth, looking very scared, wild-eyed. And it just runs to, it notices, it sees Teresa, its owner, and just collapses to it at her feet, exhausted. But with the 22, you notice there's very large lumps and bumps, like stings everywhere all over it, as it just collapses, exhausted. And as you look around the village, you look over to see a very enigmatic half-elf gentleman joining the funeral as we move over to Lightfeather Jones. So you slowly awaken from your slumber in this peaceful village. You're surrounded by the gentle sounds of nature. However, you have also had a troubling dream that still lingers in your mind. In the dream, you see a towering figure made of pure darkness and starlight, always trying to reaching for you, always trying to grasping, always nearly there, but not quite. The vision has been recurring every night for a week, growing increasingly imposing with each encounter. You see it every time you turn around. It's over you, it's near you, it's getting larger, it's almost there. And every time you wake up, the hand reaches out, but you wake up. As you step out of your modest dwelling, the village seems different. You've heard of the story of Rip Bastion, the farmer from the north side of the village who has sadly been gored by his bull. But as you look out into the tree line, you see a shape. Can you also give me a perception check, please?
$18.
18. Okay. You see one shape dart by. You see two shapes, and then a third. As you can't quite make out what they are, but they are moving very fast, and just like you can't quite make out the shape because it's so dark into that forest. And even with your eyesight, it just seems like something's blocking you from seeing whatever it was that's moving swiftly through the forest, that close to the edge as well. They move with some sort of ethereal speed, vanishing into the ancient woodland. You maybe think, oh, well, there's always animals in the woods, so what of it? But something unsettling takes you as it's like this close to the edge, this close to the village as well. And it leaves you with a feeling that maybe there's some boundaries that are being crossed between some sort of spiritual and natural world. As you're looking off into the distance, you feel a tap. You turn around and there's an old man with a long white beard. You notice him as Errol. He's one of the elders of the village. And he looks at you and he's like, morning. You've heard about this bull situation, right?
Lightfeather James's wide eyes staring in the direction of where he saw the shadows, and he felt the tap and he heard, but he's still not doing it. And he's doing one of these. He's like,
it's completely zoned out. He's like, Lightfeather.
Ah! Oh, Arrow. Hey. Yep. No.
I mean, you're a druid, right? You know about animals and things. Do you know why the bull gored Rip? No one can really figure it out.
Well, I don't know. The winds have changed. It's a bit misty. Lightfeather picks up a little bit of dirt and rubs it in his fingers, and then sprinkles it on his tongue, and he goes, yeah, the patterns are off. I don't know exactly what it is.
Patterns? What do you mean? I mean, he's like looking at the dirt, looking at what you're doing. Like, what does this all mean? You got?
It's just the patterns are all off. It's just, it's strange. You don't taste it?
I'm not really in the custom of eating dirt, Lightfeather.
And you won't see the patterns. Then he turns and looks another direction.
And he's just like, is there anything? I mean, Dolph, his son, is quite upset and quite. I mean, do you have anything that we can maybe give him to help him sleep? He seems to be hitting the booze quite hard.
Oh yeah, I can. And Lightfeather pulls out his quarterstaff and he starts walking over to the son. he's like,
oh, not right now. This is a funeral. This just ending.
You said you wanted to knock him out. I was gonna go knock him out.
Well, no, we thought more maybe herbal.
Oh, that's not as fun. Yeah, I have a series of tea leaves that I can put together for him. It'll soothe him and calm his nerves. But, the stick always helps.
well, thanks. But if it comes to the stick, we'll give you a call.
You know where to find me. The patterns are all patterns.
And as you look over, you catch Ellie Gladstone's eyes, And obviously, being from the same village, you know each other, you are aware of each other. And there's this unsettling look between you two with the dream and the different patterns. As you look into the distance, as you see one of the farmstead's own residents returning, a lady called Anna. You know her, she's a widower. Sadly, her husband died the spring before. Rumor was it was some sort of bear attack, but from the description, you're not quite sure what kind of bear it was. It was quite strange. But you notice that walking through the rain, she's accompanied by two strangers. And as we flick over to another section of this trail, amid an unrelenting downpour, you embarked on a journey down the Great Northern Road. There's the rhythmic beating of rain on the carriage roof, accompanied by the hooves as the coach and horses made their way down the winding path. You look out through the rain-streaked window as the world is bathed in a liquid. As the carriage wheels churn, the once firm ground gives way, and you come to a jolting stop. Everything seems to reluctant to move. The horses, usually determined and steadfast, decide to move with some hesitancy, but they stop at a crossroads, as at an unfamiliar section of this road. You notice that the sign says Levoca up ahead. Your inquisitive gaze lingers on the rain-soaked surroundings, captivated by the convergence of the elements and the strange terrain. You see a head of a old man with missing teeth and a scraggly beard look down into the carriage to you, Celeste, with a very apologetic tone. And you can see his face is very weathered. He's a driver for hire. He drives from town to town. He's been out in the winds and weathers. And I'm afraid, miss, we can't go any further. The horses won't have it.
Oh, I suppose we can walk. I mean, I'll need something to protect these. And she points at her very extravagant boots.
Fancy boots.
Which she'll say are bespoke and custom made, but they were stolen. But that's fine. To be fair, darling, it's not the worst thing that's happened to me at a crossroads. Did I ever tell you the story of the time I was pulled over and we thought this? It seemed like this very, very sort of quite, down on their luck couple. They came over and obviously we thought, oh, we'll help them out as much as we can. And then as soon as we stepped out, we were completely ambushed with all of these sort of bandits, and they were coming at us from all different sides. And then I decided, Celeste, you use your talents for good. So I took out my lute and I played the most beautiful tune, and they all stopped and wept at the beauty of what they heard. And they ended up giving us the money they had stolen. Yes, I'm fine to walk. That's absolutely okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the last time I was pulled over by bandits, I got robbed and my partner was killed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not.
If you know what, I'll teach you a few chords on the lute at some point. Maybe the tides will change and your luck will increase with these sort of raids.
Yeah. Oh, well, the village of Levoca is up that way, and he points down the road. If you head that way, they'll be able to give you a shout. They're good people in there. There's a farming village. They'll be able to help you out. It'll be shelter at least until I can get the horses and the car and the carriage out of this. You can see as he steps down to open the carriage door, his boot just goes into the mud, and it's just like, yeah. If you'd like to head off that way, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yes. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. He starts to take his cloak off to put down on the mud. Is that okay? Do you want me to? Is that?
Oh, that. Oh no, you should. Oh no, thank you. That is very, very charming of you. Thank you.
He's already taken it off. He's just like, oh, okay. And he's like getting wet, and then he puts it back on. Oh, okay. I just kind of assumed you said fancy boots, and I thought, but okay, no problem.
It's no got your cloak. I mean, like, I feel it's okay. Don't you worry. I'm sure I can clean them off somewhere.
Okay, well, if you spend, if you go there for tonight, maybe once I get free, I'll come and meet you in the morning and we can carry on our journey.
That sounds like a lovely plan. Thank you.
Perfect. Can you also give me a perception check, please?
Well, that I can. That's a 10.
A 10? Fair enough. Wasn't a high DC, so you're right. As you're walking down this road, you see a peculiar sight catch your eye. At the corner of your eye, as you look up, you see 3 white barn owls in a row on a tree branch, just staring at you. Yeah, they're perched on a tree, but they're as you notice, as you stop for a moment and then you go, okay, and walk on, you notice they're following you. They're looking and watching where you're moving to. You see their expressive eyes are fixed on your presence. Unfazed, after a few minutes of watching you, they just take off and fly overhead into the mist. In a graceful flurry of feathers, the owls cut through the rain as if it was never there and just disappear into the mist. But you notice the last one sort of circles back, watching you, and then follows the other 2 back into the forest.
Ooh.
As you stand watching this, you see them just slowly fade off the distance, you sort of suddenly feel the presence behind you. And as you turn around, you see sort of middle-aged woman, long dark brown hair, sort of graying a little bit, heavy rain cloak with a basket full of what you can tell looks like berries and other bits of stuff. She's picked mushrooms and things like that. She looks at you, and despite this sort of weather, she gives you like a warm smile. She's like, "Oh, hello. My name's Anna. You look a bit lost."
Ah, hello, Anna. My name is Celeste. I'm looking for Levoca. Is that right?
Oh, yes. No, that's up here. I live there.
Oh, lovely. Yes, I've been told it's just up the road here, although it's not particularly lovely. Nice road. This weather's not exactly, the best for this sort of material.
Yes,
but it's all good. It's okay. I'm sure that I'll be able to clean off somewhere.
Well, I own a farm, so if you want to come with me, I can put a fire on. We can get dry. I've got some food and things like that. If you'd like to join me.
Anna, that would be absolutely splendid. Yes, thank you very much for your kindness and hospitality.
Perfect. Yeah, follow me. And as you 2 trundle off down the road, and now we turn to the last member of the party, Thord. You wake suddenly from a deep sleep. You feel your heart racing. You feel the echoes of a disturbing dream. An unseen danger relentlessly chases you through the woods. As you struggle to catch your breath, you feel as if the carriage around you is still swirling from this experience. You shiver as you catch a fleeting glimpse out the corner of your eye as you feel like you're running. It's a very large, powerfully built creature. It's like just leaping over trees, leaping over tree trunks. It's just gaining on you, and you're running as fast as your dwarf legs will carry you. You feel yourself catching out of breath, but you see that there's the distinctive features. It's like a fox-like humanoid creature that's just chasing you down, and it's gaining speed. It has very hungry amber eyes. And it's the only noticeable features you find upon this thing is both its hands are in opposite directions, as if slightly unnatural. As you slowly come to your senses out of this dream, you feel sweat running down your face. You feel a bit bleary-eyed as you get your surroundings in this carriage. You realise that the rain is really coming down. And you feel like the wagon train you're part of comes to a grinding halt. You feel the door open really sort of swiftly as a half-orc gentleman looks at you. Now if you imagine Sam Elliott, but in half-orc form.
Yes, please.
Yes, this is Bobak Zad, Big Bob. Big Bob Zad, who's the wagon master of this train.
Make way, Bob! And I kind of like push past him, and I just vomit from the intensity of everything on the ground. Oh, take out a handkerchief. Oh,
He's like,
Bob,
God
I
damn.
apologize for that. Not feeling well
Ow.
this morning. I had a most
Well-
horrible dream.
What kind of dream did you have, sir?
A terrible dream of being chased. It's not the kind of dream where you find yourself in wizard school naked or that kind of thing, but more of like something chasing you and something hunting you. Oh, it was terrible. I was in the woods of all places. Oh, dreadful.
Well. I'm afraid I have some bad news. We are stuck. So we're stuck.
Stuck where, Bob?
Well, he sort of grabs you by the lapel and pulls you out the carriage.
Oh,
right
easy.
here
Thank
in
you.
the forest.
Oh, set me down, please, Bob.
And he shoves you back in. Yeah, the ox, they won't move. We're stuck. I got Sweet Bill trying to dig out the back, and you see a little kobold comes like running around the corner. And he's got
Hello,
like an
Bill.
old timey prospector's hat, like one of them ones. He comes like, he's like, nope, not working, and just runs back again. He's like, nope, little Bill won't be able to dig us out either.
You're telling me, Bob, that the beast won't move? Isn't
don't know,
it the
something
beast's
spooked him.
job to move? Isn't that the one thing the beast is intended to do? In fact,
Well, supposedly, but these ones won't.
where are we then?
As far as I know, the village of Levoca's that way. He points like northwards. The beasts will not cross that line. They will not go that way.
Well, maybe I should
Someone
have
spooked him.
a chat with the beast.
I mean, feel free if you want. Feel free.
I'll jump out of the carriage, probably landing in a puddle. Oh shit!
What's
Very
your foot?
well.
And you're like, the mud is just like really bad.
I'll walk up to the beast of burden. You say it was an ox of some kind?
It's basically got like a team of ox that pull this wagon tray.
Oh
And
my!
they're all kind of just like shaking their heads, like looking over to like the forest tree line, looking
Now-
away, just like going, making like a lot of commotion and not wanting to move whatsoever.
I'll just look back at Bob and be like, listen here, beasts. We have a very important journey to Levoca. It's just, how far, Bob?
A couple of miles up the road.
Just a couple of miles up the road. Now, perhaps I could entice you with a bit of, what do I have here? He'll look inside of his pouch to see if he's got any sort of something that could be, enticing to one of these animals.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps pulling up a little bit of moss, aromatic moss. That's very nice. I'll just kind of wave it in. Now, just relax. Gather yourselves, beasts. And let's just push on. Levoca promises water, food, perhaps a cleansing. Bob, do you brush these beasts?
Every day.
Brushes?
Like, you can see that the one of them just looks down and just snorts right in your face.
Oh!
Having none of this.
Well, Bob, I think it's a lost cause. Perhaps these beasts will make better steaks.
Well, now, wait a minute. No way. These are my, he's like slaps on, he's like, these have been with me for years. This is the first time this has ever happened. I've never seen them act like this before.
Bob, the whole reason that I joined this caravan was to get to Levoca. Now you're telling me we're not going to get there. Do you see the problem here?
Well, you can. We ain't.
Well, where the hells are you gonna go?
Right here.
Here?
You're gonna have to get these guys out. He's basically pointing to the caravan like, we ain't going anywhere, and I'm not leaving the caravan to come with you. I'm gonna have to dig this thing out.
You're suggesting I walk. Do you see
Oh,
how
you've got
short
legs,
these
ain't you?
legs are?
he points to little Bill, and he's like, well,
Bill, are you gonna walk?
fuck that.
See, Bob, even little Bill has the sense not to walk.
Yeah, but a little bit, he's just like, come on, listen. I've heard good things about this town. It's a little farming town. They'll put you up for the night. We'll join you once we get these goddamn beasts out of here, and it'll be fine.
It'll be fine, he says.
You got Big Bob's guarantee.
Sure, Bob, sure. Well, I would prefer a meal and a bed to this mess. Very well. My pack, please, Bob.
He gives it to basically just dumps it in front of you on the ground.
I'll pick it up and...
Sploosh.
Easy, Bob.
Well,
my walking stick.
Oh, just like throws it to you. Well, happy trails. Good luck to you. Just don't go into the forest. Stay on the trail.
You do realize that I'll be submitting for a partial refund.
We take these sorts of claims very seriously. We'll make sure it's filed appropriately.
I bet you will. All right, Bob. Well, good luck with these beasts. Bill?
We'll see you in Levoca.
And I'll just start hoofing it with my little dwarven legs.
Nice. So, as you're finding yourself down the road, and you're hoping for a bit of respite from the rain in this little town, you find yourself sort of distracted by sort of like the wind picks up a bit and the trees begin to sway ever so slightly. But the temperature drops and it's a very cold wind. But on this wind, you start to hear a strange melodic singing that sort of makes you stop and look to the woods. But you find yourself, as much as you want to move, you feel you can't move. And as quickly as that's happened, it stops, it fades off into the wind, and your legs start to pick up speed again as you're like, what the hell was that? This strange thing just froze you in place. You feel like the hairs on the back of your neck begin to stand. Now.
Do I still hear the singing? Or
you
does
feel
that
like
fade?
it's trailed off now.
Okay.
It's trailed off into the forest. But you feel like a slight sort of like fuzzy-headed from it afterwards. And as you look down the road, you see two figures. One in a heavy rain cloak with a basket, another one with fancy boots, who's walking alongside, regaling this poor woman with all sorts of strange stories as you continue down the road. Now, as you all arrive in this town, you find yourself twisting and turning down these strange pathways through the woods. And you find yourself in a clearing that seems to be surrounded in sort of like a perpetual gloom. The sun's rays, as the sky begins to clear, is barely able to pierce this thick canopy. And you see that the trees are all sort of bent in strange shapes, as if they were clawing at the sun, but not quite getting there. As if something's stopping them, pulling them back down and bringing them over into like a weird crooked canopy. And as you reach this clearing, you see dotted around loads of sort of thatched cottages, as both Thord and Celeste and their guide Anna make it into Levoca. Now, as you reach this, you sort of go, oh, it's kind of like a bit of a rundown looking town. The thatches are basically very wattle and daub type constructions, thatch roofs. Some of them could do with some repairs. It's a very basic sort of community. But there's a joyful sound as you hear children playing with some of the farmyard animals. And as soon as they spot you, they run over like, hey mister, hey mister. And they're like, hey lady with the fancy boots, and like sort of grab your hands and like, hey, like really sort of excitable. What would you like to do? As you see these group of about 10 kids just run over, they go, oh, new people, and just like scamper over.
Celeste is going to go with them because she sees this as an opportunity to get a new audience in these children, and thinks, well, you know, if anybody is gonna like all of the stories that I have, it's gonna be these guys. You know, get them started when they're young. Yeah.
Stories that, so they basically start taking your hand and leading you into the village. Thord, what about you? As you see, like, there's probably another 5 kids hanging around as they seem to take. As Anna sort of looks at you and she's like, "Come on, I'll take you to my. I'll get Celeste and you can meet some of the other folks, and I'll take you to my farmstead and you can dry off in front of the fire."
She says that to Thord.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
As Celeste has been led off.
Very well. I need some time to dry a bit. I am soaked. That would be nice. Child, to the local tavern. How far? For a drink.
This little girl who's like missing some front teeth. She looks at Anna and she's like, "Tavern?" He's like, "Don't worry, we haven't got a tavern. We're just farmers. That's kind of all we've got. We have like a little community kind of get together place in one of the barns, but it's not really a tavern."
A barn, you say?
Yeah, I mean, I can get you some mead if you want. We can get you something like that.
That would be good. I'll drink it in a tavern. I'll drink it in a barn. I'll drink it on the street. But I am quite thirsty.
Okay. Well, follow me. And as the little kids one of the little kids tugs on your little jacket.
Yes. What is it? Hello. Oh, look at you.
Mister, are you a wizard?
Well, I don't know if I'd go as far to say wizard, but let me show you just a little something. Look very closely. And I'll just kind of whip my hand around and I'll snap my fingers and I'll use prestidigitation to create like a little puff of smoke. And I'll do like a flourish.
And all the little kids like clapping, like, "He's a wizard, we got a wizard in town."
And then I'll go like this. And out of the top of my finger, just a little blast of light.
Wow. And then you see them as they just turn around and run off. They go, "He's a powerful wizard." They run off back into the town as Anna looks at them and she's like, That's something. That's something.
Just tricks. But the kids seem to like it, so I do like to bring joy wherever I go, and that is well, it's a good way to make friends, shall we say?
Well, yeah, it's certainly gonna do well in this village. Let's put it that way. As she starts to lead you away, as we cut back to Ellie and Lightfeather, you guys feel that there's a very sort of sullen feeling about the adults in this town. The kids are kind of playing; they don't really pay much attention to what's going on. But you guys notice that all the adults are kind of feel that there's something they're not telling you. They feel weighted by like the feeling as the last sort of remnants of poor Rip's ashes are kind of shoveled up and put in like a little sack and given to his son. And you notice that one of them, another farmer by the name of Baldwin, who Ellie, your father, knows, is carrying like a little sapling. What would you like to do?
Oh, hey Baldwin,
Huh?
where are you gonna plant that?
Well, it's for old Rip. We thought we'd plant a tree in his name, kind of like the nice thing to do.
That's smart. Yeah, I think that's real sensitive. He definitely did like that kind of stuff. Where are you gonna put it then?
Well, sort of points to like a spot kind of not far from where there's like a little pond, like maybe over there somewhere. I mean, he kind of liked to hang out by the pond sometimes and feed the ducks and things, so I don't really know where else to put it.
Seems like a great idea. I mean, if there's ever anything like a spirit, he would probably be there. He'd really appreciate that tree.
I mean,
great idea, Baldwin.
Thanks. Just can you tell your parents I might pop round later? We've got some things to talk about.
Oh, of course. Yeah, George and Marjorie love to see you. I'll make sure to let them know you're coming.
Thank you. And he looks to Lightfeather and he's like, hey, maybe we'll put some druid magic on this and turn it into a big redwood or something.
It's not funny, young man.
Why?
And he's just staring at him again. He's
Bolton
just
just looks at Ellie and looks back at Lightfeather like, wow, he's really unsettling. And just sort of starts wandering off.
it's just
With his sapling over the shoulder. You notice that there's like a tag that's got Rip's name on it. But as you guys are watching Bolden walk off, you hear like a bird call in the sky. And as you notice, you look up and there's just two what looks like falcons or some sort of bird of prey, like fighting in the sky until one just goes boom, boom, right near you.
Elle will go right over to it. Not touch it initially. Is it dead?
Yeah.
It's just been killed by the other bird.
Yeah. The other bird sort of circles before it just goes back into the forest.
I'll turn around to James. Jimmy, this thing's dead. I think the other one killed it. What is going on with the animals here?
And Lightfeather's gonna like hobble over to it and kind of look at the bird and go,
It's dead, right? I mean, what are you doing?
Yep, it's dead. It's dead. That's a dead bird. And then look up to the sky to like in the direction where the other bird went.
Mm-hmm.
It just flew off. I didn't notice anything like.
You can give me animal handling if you like, to see if there's maybe something you might have suspected.
All right. Let's see. 12.
12. You kind of noticed that the bird deliberately kind of circled where it was to make sure it was kind of dead before it took off.
It's the patterns again. It's just something's off with everything that's going on. That's not looking from the sky, looking to the ground, looking back and forth. Something's not right. And it's oh no, go ahead.
No, finish. It's okay.
Hey, you can just see that Lightfeather has like a really like unsettling look. Like it's
the eyes again.
Yeah, it's the eyes again. Like but it as opposed to it being menacing, it's more so of a concern because now like he's starting to notice that this is happening more frequently.
Yeah. You see these two new strangers going off. You see one of them, Celeste, playing with some children, telling some stories. You see another one, dwarf and gentleman Thord with a staff. You see Anna comes over to you and she's like, do you guys want to join me in the barn? We've got some new residents and it might be nice for some people to join them of the village to sort of speak to them, just sort of make them feel a bit more comfortable. What do you think?
Of course. I mean, they look kind of road weary. We could definitely offer them up a little bit of Levoca hospitality, right?
I think so. When she leans in, Anna's like, I think the dwarf guy's like city folk. I'm not sure. He seems a bit out there.
Oh, no city folk. Oh, it's all right.
One of you help me off the ground, please.
Oh,
Okay. What are we talking about?
We got two new arrivals in the village, and we thought it'd be good to sort of let people meet them and kind of make them feel a bit more welcome. They've been on the road.
Might be city folk, so try to, blend.
Okay. And Lightfeather with this stick, he's just like, here we go. He just starts walking over. It's like that SpongeBob thing. He's like, I love the young people. Over.
So, is there anything else you'd like to do before we move along?
I'd like to take a couple feathers from the bird
Okay.
that was killed and just kind of put it in my little satchel.
Okay. Lovely. Elle, is there anything you'd like to do?
Nope, not at this time.
Celeste, as you've been talking to these children, is there anything else you'd like to do, or are you quite happy?
I think if
following Anna.
Celeste had saw Thord doing those couple of little like magic tricks out of the corner of her eye, and like the kids being like, oh my god, that's amazing, she's going to just pick up like a small pebble and cast light on it, because she's like, this Cedar is not the only magician here, and just trying to outdo, because she wants to be the center of attention, because that is her aim in life. So she's gonna try and like compete by casting light on just like a little pebble she finds on the floor, and just gives it to one of the kids, like, there you go.
And they're just like that, and like, oh, we've got 2 wizards. Oh my god! And then like you see one kid try and snatch the other, the stone that's got cast light on it, and run off, and they start chasing each other. Give him back my stone! Give him back my stone! And they chase each other off to somewhere in the farmstead. So what we'll do is we'll flash forward. It's now evening time. You're all collected in the barn. There's Celeste, there's Thord, James has turned up. Elle, you've come along because Baldwin is talking to your parents, so you've come along with them. Anna's kind of put on a nice supper, stew-like dinner for you guys, and she's like, welcome, welcome. You know, this is Levoca hospitality. Take a seat, please.
Very nice. This
Yes,
is
no,
quite the establishment. Thank you
Insight
for the
check.
hospitality.
If you want an insight check, go for it. You want an insight
He
check,
is
Thord?
fully bullshitting.
Yeah.
No need.
Okay.
He's you can tell he's just kind of like in his mind. Can you believe a village without a proper tavern? This is ludicrous.
I think when Lightfeather gets there and he sees Celeste, like he does one of these. He's like, okay, kind of straightens himself up a little bit. You know, he stands up a little bit taller, but then when he starts walking, he hobbles over again with his stick, wobbling over to Celeste, and he's like, hello.
Hello, my name's Celeste. Charmed, I'm sure.
And he shakes her hand, like she's got it like this, but he shakes it like this, ups and down. He's like, I am Lightfeather James. And then he puts his hands up like this, leaning on his staff again, and he goes, oof, and he pulls out a piece of parchment that says, Lightfeather James, if you need it, I got it, ... maybe, who's asking?
Oh, lovely. Well, that's good to know. I'm something of a magician myself, and she's gonna pull the exact same trick that she did with the kids. She's gonna find a small piece. You say we're in like a sort of a barn, kind of.
Yeah. Basically, it's like a big barn that's like, because her husband's like long gone, she's kind of using it as like a meeting space, as kind of a bit like a would makeshift kind of cafe type scenario. People come and meet, come for food and things like that.
She'll find just like a piece of like a random piece of straw that's been surveyed, and she's going to do exactly the same thing. She's like, there you go.
Oh, okay. And Lightfeather puts it in his pocket, and he's like, so what brings you to our humble little town?
Well, I've heard of some interesting rumors that there may be something quite interesting happening in those woods over there, and I thought maybe I could go and have a little explore. And even if nothing comes of it, I'm sure there'll be a few stories I can tell afterwards.
You wanna go to the woods in those boots?
Well, I'm sure I can, maybe not in these boots. I mean, these are custom. But I'm sure maybe I could, if I ask nicely and, pay a few coin or whatever, I could purchase some off of somebody of a local here in the village. But yes, no, woods, absolutely splendid. It sounds lovely. I mean, nature and getting, being one with nature and all that, and I go to quite a few different places. I don't really stick around too much. So it's a lot of cities and villages. So something a bit more natural would be lovely.
As this conversation's going on, Lightfeather's like looking at Celeste, and he's in his mind. If anybody did an insight check, he'd go, "This was a mistake." Okay, well, yeah, no. He walks away.
Well, sir,
Lovely
kind
to
sir,
meet you.
before you leave, you presented yourself as some sort of acquirer of things, and well, I have myself heard of the wood, and I am very weary from the travels. I had to walk here, of all things. The wagon train was stopped miles, and well, my feet are sore, my boots need mending. I need a good laundry. And I could use a hot bath. I'm wondering, I've heard there's nothing of the sort of tavern. Is there an inn? Is there some place to wash up?
Elle will walk up to the group at this point.
I don't like you, young man.
Well, thank you very kindly. I have not been called young in quite a few decades, indeed. Let me introduce myself. My name is Thord Kenai. Yeah, I'm sure none of you have heard of me, but I am on a bit of a journey, and I am looking just for a bit of comfort in this very fine town that you have.
I'm Lightfeather. Pulls out another card. This one says Lightfeather Relationship Specialist.
Thank you very kindly. He tucks it in his lapel.
I'm Elle of Gladstone Farm.
Pleasure.
You come at a kind of a not the best time. We'll do our best to make you comfortable, but we don't have any like highfalutin establishments like you might be used to.
Well, you do bathe, do you not?
We bathe, yes.
Oh,
of course we bathe. I mean,
brilliant.
it doesn't
Occasionally.
smell in here. Or more frequently than that. It depends on what you've been doing. Like if you're wrestling pigs all day, you're gonna take a bath every day. But
Pig
I
wrestling.
hear you guys talking. Well, when they get away from you, you gotta catch them, bring them back.
Not a recreational pursuit, more of a work task.
Well, typically not, but that does
You
happen
wrestle
as
with
well.
pigs for fun?
What are you talking about?
Celeste is writing all
No,
of this
he's talking to he's
conversation
talking to
down.
Thord. Like,
No, of course not. I'm just simply
he's really giving the business to Thord for some reason.
simply
Like-
trying to understand the traditions of your fine town of Levoca. Is that yes? That Levoca. Very interesting place. Not a tavern to speak of. What do you do for fun aside from the pig wrestling?
We don't pick.
Well, we're hardworking people. We don't have time for fun. I mean, looked around here, it's not, we don't have free time per se. I mean, we do like to hang out with each other, but that's only when we're not busy working to the bone.
I see.
And at this moment, Anna brings over like 2 jugs, and she's like, "Well, one's mead and one's mulled wine. I thought I'd take both for you guys. I hope like James and Ella here are sort of making you feel welcome."
Oh, quite
Absolutely
welcome.
charming. Yes.
Yes.
She looks at Lightfeather like, "Come on now, be friendly."
I'm sorry, and he sits down to like at the table. He's like, "I'm sorry."
I get this sense. Thord looks over at Celeste. I get the sense that this particular village is not often raided by the likes of ours or those from Troll Lord Games. And well, of course, I'm sure there's much for us to do in this fine town. What are you here for? You say adventure. You say the woods. What of the woods?
Oh, I've heard rumors of some very interesting things within the woods, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of, bullshit surrounding that. But, I thought it's worth an explore, and I thought, even if I don't necessarily get what I've come for, there's going to be a hell of a lot of stories to come from it, and that's sort of my bread and butter, as it were. And then, and now this lovely spread, and she is 100% genuine. She is like, she talks a big game, but she is very much kind of paycheck to paycheck kind of thing. Like she kind
Been
of
there.
very much. That's kind of the vibe. So she's always like, oh yes, no, the custom boots, but she stole them. And this spread is probably one of the nicest spreads she's seen in a minute. And the fact that there is like a full thing of mead, a full thing of mulled wine, she's living. So yeah, but no, and then
what were the rumors you've heard?
Oh well, I'm surprised. Given you're local to the area, I'm surprised you've not heard them yourself. But yes, so supposedly within the Whisper Woods there is a hoard of treasures hidden deep within, guarded by the Wolf King, whoever that may be. I've never heard of him myself, but I'm sure there are a few kind of embellishments and everything, but thought it's worth a bloody look,
If I could inquire, this Wolf King, and he'll look over at Elle and Lightfeather James. Wolf King, is this real, or is this simply a tale told to the children to encourage good behavior?
Lightfeather looks at Elle like one of those knowing looks and looks back at the two of them, and he kind of waits to see what she starts with.
I would say they are 100% true.
No, indeed.
They, initially they are, what we tell the kids is exactly that. And you know what? I think it's 100% accurate.
I wouldn't necessarily say the same.
Oh, a bit of a disagreement. This is interesting.
Celeste's writing it down again.
I'll lean into Lightfeather and say, play along. Let's scare the city folk.
What's that? Speak up.
I said, let's tell the truth so that they know to be cautious.
Such charming people.
Yes, thoughtful.
Yeah,
thoughtful.
So I guess because Lightfeather loves a good joke, and so he sits down, he pours himself a glass, and he's like leaning wide-eyed again, and he goes, "It was some time ago. Some say that it was as big as a cottage itself. Large, gnawing, gashing teeth, ripping, tearing, blood everywhere. We lost so much that year. It was devastating. There was cries all over the town. We couldn't stop it. Every night, wailing, gnawing, gnashing. We didn't just lose our crops and animals. We lost our will. It was so hard." And he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a little glass with a cork and he sets it down. This is all I had to speak for during that time, and I keep it as a reminder. And he slides it over to Celeste and Thor, and he goes, Do you know what that is?
No. What is it?
It's bullshit. And then he drinks from his mulled wine glass.
God.
Elle will begin laughing pretty hard too.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Yes. Very well done.
Absolutely splendid. I love it.
That's how you tell a story.
Oh, you really know what you're doing, don't you? Oh, well, I didn't realize in the company of such another storyteller. Oh,
That's actual bullshit, by the way. And he takes the glass and pulls it back in his pocket.
He keeps bullshit in his pocket.
Charming.
Splendid story.
not the
You
worst
had me
thing.
the entire time. Well, what do you keep in your pocket?
Unmentionables. I don't want to gross you city folk out too much.
No, please.
go
I'm
on.
very curious.
We've all had
Well-
a bit of a drink.
Well,
Two.
it's our main cows in mating season, so I've got some samples that I need to keep warm for a while. It's you know what? Let's not talk about it too much. I think probably.
I'm quite sorry I asked.
I mean, I gave you an out. I did, but
Can everyone give me perception checks, please?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Oh,
Natural
12.
close. 2, so 5.
5.
Close.
What did Thor get?
12.
Thor, 12. Ellie?
18.
James?
14.
14. Okay, so apart from Celeste as she's talking away, you three notice someone's come into the barn, and Anna's sort of got her arm around consoling them because they seem very upset. And Ellie, you notice this as Teresa. And she's just like, she's gone. And she's like really upset. And you see Ben Corbin, the woodsman, follows in behind her, and he's just like sits down and is like shaking his head, like just like this, just sort of looking a bit disturbed.
You got. I'll go over if I need to. If they're right there, I'll just yell.
Yeah, Anna's basically taken her, because she's looking quite shaken up, takes Teresa off to the corner to sort of give her a strong drink and sit her down. As Ben Corbin just sort of says,
Ben, what's going on? What? Something
Teresa,
else terrible's happened?
Tilda. You found her in the woods.
Oh, that's great. That's great. How is she?
She's dead.
Dead. What happened? Do they know what happened to her?
Well,
She wasn't gored too, was she?
he leans in close and he's like, listen, some sort of hornet nest. I don't. She was just stung. It was just hundreds of them, just hundreds of stings.
That never happens. I mean,
I'd
I've
like
never-
to shuffle over. Keep going,
Tell-
but I'm shuffling
Yeah.
over.
I was, she must
Tilda
have.
knew better than to mess with the bees and the hornets.
She was chasing. From what we know, she was looking for truffles, and garlic ran off. She went chasing, and they must have hit a hornet's nest. I don't. But we went looking, and we found her body a couple of yards into the woods. So yeah, she's in one of the barns. We brought her back to.
What?
That's 2 now.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else left in the woods?
Not that I know of.
Nobody's missing, right? I mean, nobody's ran off in the night.
I've asked one of the other guys to do a quick head count to make sure everyone's safe. And he's got like 2 sort of woodsman like guys that follow him around that he's kind of sent to go and check everybody else. There's about 6 or 7 people in here with you, so he's like, well, I can account for these guys and the newcomers, you guys.
It's you both know what this is, and there's already 2. It's the curse. It has to be. This is why the patterns have been off.
Well,
The curse?
Yeah,
What do you...
it's the old witch's curse. There's
No, it
already
can't be.
there's already 2. There's already 2. That's just
3 days, 3 deaths, 3 eyes, 3 breaths. That's what you remember. Your mum and dad remember. It's kind of,
there's
old story.
Bastion, and now this, and there's just when we need to tell everyone in the town. Everyone needs to stay. We need to stay here and keep out of the woods. There's already 2. The patterns.
I mean, if it's just one day, we can all just stay in here for one day. Maybe then it won't happen.
And at this moment, as you're talking, you notice that your dad like yelps in pain. Oh, God damn it.
Pa!
Turns around and the dog that there's a dog that usually hangs around in this barn, and it's just like tried to bite him, sort of semi-aggressive.
I'll
no reason.
grab the dog with my animal handling and try to, grab him by his collar and hold him down.
Yeah.
Drag him off.
You can
Right.
see,
Yeah.
very sort of like resistant. This dog is very agitated.
This dog is never like this. Something is going on.
Is
Yeah,
there
and-
like a? I'm sorry.
No, go on.
Is there like a mayor type person that's here?
It's probably, again, you're going to see like Errol and a couple of
Errol,
other the
yeah.
elder gentlemen sort of looking around, or looking a bit like puzzled, like why is this happening?
I want to go over to Errol, and I go, Errol.
James,
There's already two. It's this is the curse. This is the curse. There's already first.
he grabs you, he just grabs you and goes, keep your fucking voice down.
Would you know it to be true? It's happening already, and it feels accelerated. It's only been one day, and there's already two.
It's just a story, just a folklore. It's nothing.
It's not a story, Errol. It's happening. It's happening right now. The patterns, I told you this morning, I tasted in the dirt. You can see it in the air. It's the patterns. And look at the animals.
It's just a coincidence. Just forget it, okay?
There's no coincidence. Why? Do not discredit me, Errol. You've been here just as long as I have. It's happening. It's in front of us, and it's gonna get worse.
You see him sort of grab your sleeve and pull you over to the side. Listen, you keep telling people about this fucking curse, you'll be out.
Kind of like, does the Denzel Washington get your hands
Get your hands off me. Get your fucking hands off me.
And he's like, the blood of these people are going to be on your hands, Arrow, because you haven't done anything. And I won't stand for it. And shuffle off.
And at this moment, a young man bursts into the barn. He's like, there's wolves in the woods, on the tree line. They're trying to come into town.
My God.
You hear that, Arrow? Wolves.
This is
Now
not
we have
another Sunday
wolves.
night.
Thor just looks over at Celeste and says, well, this meeting certainly took a turn.
Yes, this isn't quite the sort of quiet town this kind of was led to believe. I'm assuming these aren't regular occurrences. Wolves and
Pig
dogs
wrestling.
and pig wrestling, and that sort of thing. It feels quite out of place. I don't know. You seem quite shocked by it all.
Light Feather James, is it? And L, yes. Is there something amiss?
Still working with the dog.
That dog is
down.
that cur. It looks
The
ravenous.
dog is basically calmed down all of a sudden. As soon as someone shouted like wolves and stuff, it's calmed down. Got very skittish all of a sudden.
I'll pick him up and just hold him, like weird farm girl animal handling type
On the shoulder.
style. Yeah, whatever. No, I'm just holding the dog.
Just big, strong arms.
yeah.
Mhm.
Those veins. I'm strong.
Would it be helpful if we addressed this wolf situation by maybe locking the doors, barring the windows, stocking up on ale, that sort of thing?
Only one way to handle wolves, big boy. And that's addressing him head on, shuffling towards the door.
Thor just
You
looks
see-
to Elle and says, please don't tell me that his leg was lost to a wolf.
Well, that's another story entirely. You're gonna have to ask him about it, but it's
Oh,
not
God.
recent.
And as you're saying this, you see the young man. He's just like, "There's 6 of them. I think I counted 6. Just
That's
They're everywhere."
where the James turns around and go, well.
That's far too many wolves.
You see Ben Corbin, who's the woodsman. He's like stands up. He's bow slung over his shoulder, and he points at like a couple of the people, and he goes, you, and you with me. Let's go. And he's like, newcomers, follow. We're going to need as many hands as we can.
Elle is at attention as soon as Ben talks.
Yeah.
Are you implying that we should go after the wolves?
This is how we do it in this town. Come on, Master Dwarf, follow on.
Light Further turns back around. Come on, let's see if you can squeal. And then just keeps walking.
I'm not so sure I like this town very much. As he looks at Celeste and just downs the rest of the ale, uses his beard to wipe his face, anything that missed his mouth, and gets up and follows.
Celeste kind of looks down at what she's wearing, which is very all style, no practicality, and then looks up at everybody leaving and is like, well, suppose needs must, and follows. But she's not. This is the first time where she's looking a little bit less self-confident. Yeah, as a bard, she's not particularly combat ready or helpful. So, but she'll follow.
So as you all exit this barn, the village is like a hub of activity. You've got, Ben Corbin and his woodsmen coming out with their bows. You've got other people going to the house grabbing whatever they can. There's pitchforks. There's torches being lit. Like the town is coming out for this, and I think that'd be a good opportunity to go for a break.
Awesome, thank you, Shiv. My palms are sweating with anticipation of what you have ready for us. Thanks to everybody that joined us in the first half of today's game. Thank you to Trollord Games in particular for the raid. Appreciate you. Welcome in. If you like what you're seeing and like what we're doing here, please consider giving our channel a follow. We will be back in just a few short minutes to get back to this story. Thank you very much. We'll see you in shortly. All right, Shiv, take us back, my friend.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We are into the second half of this episode as our intrepid adventurers have been dragged into a wolf sighting, and so the villagers have gone out in force to see what the hell is going on. So we'll go and have a look at the map.
Ooh. I see no wolves. Perhaps it was all a big mistake.
Maybe it was a joke. Another joke. Fell for it.
No, basically, as you guys come up this path here, as you can see, and the tree lines there, you see everybody's kind of assembled, and they're like, "What's going on? Where are these wolves? Where are these wolves?" And you see Robin step forward, and they're like, "In the tree line." And as you look, you start to see a pair of red eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you notice they're kind of like in a sort of semicircle looking at you from the tree line, just stalking.
They're like shoehorning us.
Basically, they're trying to they're kind of like, they can see where the road is, they can see what sort of thing, and they're just like stalking you up and down. But what you don't realize is these are actually, no, go on, everyone give me perception checks, because let's see what you get. Let's see what you can see. See what them eyes see.
Oh no.
Oh, natural 20.
Natural 20, lovely.
Ooh.
For a
Six.
20,
22
six,
total.
22. What everyone gets
11.
get? 11. Right, James, what'd you get? Bite further.
6.
6 and L.
I got a 1, so total
1.
5.
So Thord, you notice that these are bigger than any wolf you've maybe seen. They're about 6 foot long, big shoulders, big shaggy black fur.
They're huge.
But also, as you're looking, you notice they have a very sort of strange, like hyena type back. Like that big sort of strange humpback thing, like the hyenas tend to have. Like it's very crooked.
Strange wolves you have here, big and hideous.
If you'd like to place your characters wherever you want them to be before we begin.
Is back at the barn with the ale an option?
Sadly not. No.
Okay.
Celeste will definitely. I think Celeste is definitely going to stay sort of further back.
Yeah. What you're standing behind is a big farmhand called Oates. He's just a big tank of a man.
Yep. Yep.
Come on. We're out here now. Come on, Celeste.
No,
Is
I'm far more effective.
Yeah. No,
I'm
come on.
just further back. Like I don't really do sort of hand to hand, as it were.
Bring them shiny shoes. We're going to war.
You start to see that they're appearing in the woods.
Oh my god!
And what you don't realise is that
What?
one in the middle, this guy here, is obviously quite big, and he just quite brazenly just walks out into the path and is just growling and all that. And you see Ben looks at Ellie and looks back at everybody else and looks at the thing. He's like, "Oh shit, that's not a fucking wolf. That's a fucking warg."
Say again, a warg?
Yes, it's like it was like a folklore thing. It was some twisted wolf kind of creature. It was like fairy tale stuff. And he looks at Ellie and he's like, "Fuck." He's like never seen anything like this before.
I've probably never seen this look in his eye, right?
He looks quite like, for an experienced huntsman and woodsman, he's like, "Shit, this is kind of like," it was like if someone said, "Yeah, T-Rexes are real," and you see one, you're like, "Fuck, what?"
Yeah,
It's like
all
something
the
you've only heard
color
about. Yeah, it just
drains
drains,
from
and he's
my
like,
face
"Oh my
too,
god."
yeah.
And then you hear like a twang of a bowstring as an arrow just shoots past.
Yep.
And you see this guy here called Sterling. He's like, "I got him," and it just like just misses completely. And then another one's
You might want to back up, son.
Apparently you don't got him.
and Oates is like, "Don't worry," and he's like just pushes past these two. And he's like starts firing as well. He's like, "Paching," starts fires another arrow. Another one misses. And Ben looks around. He's like, "Will you stop fucking firing, you lot?" And it's starting to sort of chaos as people start to get nervous as these wolves are just stalking up and down this tree line. And people are starting to like lose their shit, start firing their arrows.
Oh, there's-
I got
there's-
one, another one.
There's no reason to agitate them. Perhaps they're just passing through. Is it possible?
I got a question, DM. Is
Go for
there I guess can I make a perception check to see why they're not moving past the tree line?
Sure, you can, yeah.
Come on. 22.
22. They kind of just seem like, as like wolf-like creatures, they kind of are waiting for you to come closer. They're like, "We're kind of safe here." They can sort of judge, weirdly intelligent, more intelligent than you'd probably give them credit for. That they're judging the distance and judging that these people are firing wildly and missing and being like, "We're safe in the tree line." That sort of like weird animal instinct.
They're keeping shelter across the line. They want us to get closer. Maybe somebody with better archery skills could step up.
You
Shiv,
see
who-
Errol step forward. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, who looks to be the most capable warrior?
Basically, you've got Ben Corbin, Fuller, and Timo are like the huntsmen. The rest of these are just general, your run-of-the-mill villagers, village folk, farmers, stable hands, that sort of thing, who are like
And-
pitchforks and arrows, and just going like, yeah, don't worry, I've got him, and fires another arrow.
And Oates is the biggest.
Oates is a big guy, yeah.
All right. I'm going
Where's his brother
to.
Hall?
I can't go for that. No.
He's a
I'm
man
gonna
eater.
go ahead and
Yeah.
cast. I'm gonna cast a spell if I can.
Please go ahead.
I'm gonna cast Friends on Oates.
Yeah.
And then I am going to say, my good sir, please, if you could just stay close to me. I do feel as though I am in a bit of extra danger. If you could maybe keep me safe, good friend. And I'm gonna see
Is
if I
that a
can get him
save?
to. No, but I get advantage on charisma checks to influence them.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
Yeah, he just looks at you and goes, "Get behind me, dwarf," and sort of pushes you behind him.
Nice. All right. Do you want me to make a roll at all, or are we?
No, we'll say because he's just
Okay.
a villager. It's fine. You're
Okay.
probably vastly more superior to him in any sort of arcana way.
Well, I
you
don't.
see
I don't mean
Errol's
to
still-
rub it in, but yes, probably.
Yes. You see Errol step forward and he's just like, "Come on, let's get these wolves. Let's go." And he's like trying to fire people up. Can we roll some initiative, please?
Oh, hell yeah.
Dice are cooled off.
Ooh, a
I
4.
have not rolled above a 10 all session.
No.
A 9.
A 9.
No.
Elle has a 10.
Oh crap!
Right there with you.
I got a 14.
Hey, all right.
You have to decide.
High roller.
Initiative.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Oh yeah, there we go. So sorry, what did Celeste get?
9.
9. Lovely. And Ellie?
10.
Thord, what was you?
4.
4? Okay. Looking good, guys. Looking good. And
Don't worry.
what's the main man got?
14.
14. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's begin.
Okay, cool. I guess it's me.
Yeah. You're up.
So again, that kind of makes sense. Lightfeather's like, "You're not gonna take my other leg," and we're gonna shoot off an eldritch blast.
Okay.
that
Which one are you? Which one are you going for? Which one are you going for? 3? Which for 4? 5?
I'm going for 3.
3. The guy that's the one that's out in the open. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Give me something good. 13 to hit.
Let me just check. 13 hits.
Beautiful. Oh, nice. And that's going to be 8 points of damage.
Okay. You see this wolf just gets blasted and it's just like a little bit singed and fried.
It's so Lightfeather, he's just like, "You're not going to get my other leg." And then he shoots out an eldritch blast across. And when he sees he hits, he's like, "Yeah, yeah." He's kind of doing a jig. He's super happy. "See, we can do it, everybody." That's my turn.
Okay. Next on to L.
If Elle wasn't so scared, she would have given a little eye roll before she pulled back her bow, sure and steady. And let's go. 21.
Which one are you going for?
Number 3, same one.
Number 3, 21 hits. Yep.
7 damage.
7 damage. You basically, and that's bow and arrow, yeah?
Yeah, longbow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Longbow. You basically hit this wolf and he just slumps down dead.
I look at old Ben to see if he looks back at me for like an approval
Of
look.
recognition.
Yeah,
He's
I
just,
don't know if
he's not
he
looking
won't-
at all. He's watching the
won't.
tree
Yeah.
line.
but
Yeah.
I still look anyway.
You see Lightfeather in the corner of your eye, though. He's just like, he's just super
Number
pumped for no
one.
reason.
So
So
next we
happy
go-
for you.
We'll go to Celeste. What do you want to do?
So Celeste is going to she's gonna whip out her flute.
Mhm.
She's going to play a couple of notes Nothing super complex, but like, you know, she's still only level 1. And so she is going to cast Fairy Fire over water. So it's I need to figure out how you can draw on this. Oh, lovely. That was pretty straightforward.
There should be a little measuring tool if you need it on the sidebar there.
Cool, thank you. She's going to cast a Fairy Fire over here. So this blue box. I don't know if everyone else can see that.
Yep.
So that means
Yeah.
that where's my character sheet? Any creature in the area when the spell is cast. So the 2 wargs. I think that's warg. Is that 4 and 5?
4 and 5.
If it fails a dexterity, so oh yeah, so they need to do a dex save.
Okay.
Of 13.
Dex save 13. Okie dokie.
I have a feeling these guys are going to be dexy, so hopefully.
Well, we'll see. Hang on. Let me just bring up their stats.
Hi, Taryn. Welcome in. Taryn created some new emotes for us, including that little happy tater tot guy. Thank you so much.
Nice. Sorry, what was it? A dex, did you say?
Dex save, yes, please.
Okay. And what was the dex save?
A 13.
13. 1 fails, 1 succeeds. So 5
Beautiful.
fails, 4 succeeds.
Cool. So 5 fails. That means that they are surrounded in a dim light in a sort of 10-foot radius around them, and it also means that any attack made at that creature, so Walk 5, will be at advantage.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if this will be of any use, but the affected creature cannot benefit from being invisible if that is something that it can do.
Okay.
So that's my action, and then as my bonus action, there's going to be it's almost like this like weird like violet ray is going to appear out of the end of her flute and then sort of fly across the woodlands and hit Warg 5. It's Warg 5 is going to be like almost like looking almost like ultraviolet kind of looking now.
So there's light crackling off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's going to do a couple more notes, and she is going to cast Bardic Inspiration on because she's seen Elle and James seem to have done pretty damn well, so she is going to give Thord Bardic Inspiration, so you get a D6 inspiration.
Nice.
And that will be Celeste's go. She can stay where she is.
So we're on to Warg 4. Now, seeing one of his pack mates get killed, he's coming charging. Oh yeah, no, he's going to go to there. He's going to come charging out the wood line.
No.
You see this massive thing come charging out.
Not good.
Straight to the big guy. Straight to the big guy himself. Ben, no,
Ben.
not old Ben. He's going to try. Nope, that's a miss. Then you get 1 attack, so he misses. You see him basically try to chomp it, and you see him like holding him off, the bow to the jaws as he tries to hold him off. Next up, Walk 5. This is the one. I assume the square will move with him.
Let me just check. I don't think the square moves. I think the square stays where it is, but the creature is still
affected by it.
Yeah, for the duration, so a minute. For the duration, the object and affected creatures shed a dim light in a 10-foot radius. So, I believe that even if the warg leaves that space now, he's still affected.
Perfect.
So
that's fine. No problem. Awesome. So you see the Warg 5 just shoots out the tree line, still crackling with this like weird violet light on it as it stands its ground on this sort of pathway here, looking at Errol and just like growling at him. And you see Errol's like, come on, go kill the wolves. And he's just like edging backwards as he's trying to usher everybody forward. And now we'll move on to Thord.
Thord will just sort of like tug on the back of Oat's shirt and just be like, perhaps we should just stand our ground and let the good fighters do their work. I'm sure that we can provide support from From a distance, from the wolves, yes. And he's going to cast mage armor on himself.
Okay. Oates looks down at you and is like, "Don't worry, dwarf. I've got you." And he puts like a meaty hand on your chest. Like, "Stay there, buddy." Pushes you back like a little bit. Is that all you'd like to do?
Yep.
Perfect. Org 1. He's going to come to there. Yep, that's his turn. Org 5. He's going to come further down. Now, as they're getting a little bit closer, you see again everybody, because this is all starting to get in like dim light and sort of semi-darkness. The torchlight, people are starting to wave their torches around and starting to get spooked. More arrows are just pinging off into the forest, pinging, not even, people tripping backwards and stuff. And you notice that they're getting frightened by the wolves coming out of the tree line and whatever shadows they can see as well that are cast off these torches, as Sterling trips over and falls over by this tree here. He's face down. Baldwin just basically backs off. Saxona, she's going to retreat over this way. Errol is backing off slowly. Belinda comes forward and is trying to help Ben, as Fuller and Timo are going to try and get involved over this way to try and calm everybody down. Because you see, as Ben's wrestling with this wolf, he's like shouting orders to his men, like, "Get everybody back, calm them down." But as you notice, a torch has gone onto the floor as this tree here goes up in flames.
Oh.
Oh.
That sets alight. So now you've got a tree on fire over there. As we move on to Lightfeather.
Perfect. So, seeing the two orcs put pressure, Lightfeather's going to shoot another Eldritch Blast at Warg 5.
Yep, sure.
I got a natural 20 for a 23.
Woo!
And that will hit. That will hit. Go for the double damage. And this is on Warg 5, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Perfect. It's going to be 8 points of damage total.
8 points of damage on Warg 5. Yep. Lovely.
And then I'm gonna move over in between Errol and Baldwin. And then all the while, this entire time, just this ridiculous old man primal scream is happening. It's just like, ah! It just
Trying to scare the wolves off.
He's hype. He's hype. In Lightfeather's mind, he is zooming across this battlefield, just whipping Eldritch blasts, and in his head he's going for it superhero. But what you see is this old man who shoots off this fire, screams, and then shuffles over to the side. But in Lightfeather's mind, he is Dragon Ball Z in his way across this field.
Nice. Look at him
Awesome.
go.
Ace. Yeah, everyone's looking around wow, Lightfeather can really move.
Right? And he's like, ah!
Is that all you'd like to do on your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Warg 2 is going to come out. But what you see as this Warg darts out, he avoids the fire. He can sit as he comes out of the woods. Instead of making a direct beeline to where Warg 1 is and maybe put some pressure on there, you notice it darts around the flames and heads off as if not. But you can kind of see these creatures now. They're very doesn't look like anything you've seen before. As we go on to Elle.
Okay, Elle will. I think she's very laser focused on Warg 4, who is attacking her mentor.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna. I think she can get a shot from where she is. If not, she's gonna. Okay. Another shot with the longbow. This one isn't the fairy fire one, right? It was 5.
It was 5 was the fairy fire. Yeah.
Okay. That's a 12.
A 12 Let me check. A 12 will hit. No, 12
Yay.
misses. Sorry,
Oh,
12
no.
misses.
Oh.
Determined.
So what happens is, as you're aiming and just as you're about to fire, the struggle, sort of, Ben comes into your eye line and you just like instinctively loose it and it fires off, missing because you don't want to hit him as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Okay. That
Is
is,
that-
all I'm doing. I will, out of the corner of my eye, I guess at this point, notice the craziness because of the screaming happening over to my right and the dancing. But yeah, still pretty focused on Ben.
Okay, perfect. Celeste, what would you like to do?
So Celeste is going to put her flute away. She is going to reach around the inside and she's gonna reach over her back and she's gonna grab her crossbow out.
Ooh.
And she is going to make an attack at Warg 4. As you can see, the
Okay.
Warg 4 is causing some issues. Let me find a different dice that is hopefully will roll better for me. Oh, beautiful. That is a 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
Lovely. So that is a nice. Higher than I thought. That is a D8. That's 12 piercing damage.
12. Wow.
Yeah, I rolled an 8 on my D8. I'm very happy with that.
Dead.
Nice.
4. Yeah.
Nice.
So basically, as he's like trying to push this warg away, you take your shot and it just goes limp as it hits it like in the neck. And he just like and throws it onto the
Brutal.
floor. Just throws it off and strangely, you notice that he's quite strong to actually just cast this thing off with one sort of throw off of his bow, and you're like, wow. But he's just like looks over you and he's like, thanks. As we go to Warg 5, and he just goes, you basically watch as Warg 5 sort of leaps over to Sterling as he's like getting up off the floor and just grabs him like there and just ragdolls him. Just sinks his teeth and just ragdolls this poor bloke as he's trying to get off the floor. He just dropped his torch. Thord, what do you want to do?
Thord just shouts out, "Fire! The fire! They're afraid of the fire!" And he's going to use minor illusion to
Nice.
put some fire between Sterling and Warg 1 in an attempt to sort of
Okay.
like hold off that beast.
Okay, is that any save required?
No, I think that's totally up to you in terms of how you roll with it. But it just says that I can create a sound or image of an object within range
Okay.
that lasts for a minute.
No, we'll say as you cast it, as this warg is concentrating on just ragdolling this poor bloke, the flames just appear and you see him just let him go and sort of leap back a little bit as Sterling's just like on the floor, like wounded and like, oh God, on the floor there. So now everybody else is, Errol again is basically back straight up and is bumped into Oates. Baldwin is coming forward to aid Sterling. Belinda is going to take a shot with a bow at Warg 5. Misses. Fuller is going to have another shot. He misses because as he goes to shoot, Robin bumps into him, and so his arrow goes, and you can see again, this is still breaking down. Everybody's still out of their minds. Crazy. We'll go to Timo. He hits Warg 2.
Yes, Timo.
Warg 2 will take 6 points of damage. You see his arrow lies straight and true on Warg 2. Use that up. Cool. And who else we've got? Robin, she's by. So now Ben Corbin steps forward, and you basically see him take out like a woodsman's axe, and he's going to take a chop at Warg 2. And he misses. Warg is too quick. He's misses. So now we're up to Warg 1. So is the fire still sort of this area? Yeah, is that where you kind of place the flames, the illusionary flames?
Yeah, exactly. Close to
Perfect,
the
okay.
real flame, so that there's enough of a a heat and tactical element.
Okay, so he's going to come down and
Tactile.
go for Valinda.
Oh, sorry, Valinda.
Whoops.
Signed her death warrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to hit, and she's Ooh, she's wounded. She's badly blooded as this thing just mauls her. And we're over to wall 5. This one's kind of less hesitant. Was hesitant to come out the tree line. You've noticed as it was the last one to appear. Let's go over to Light Feather.
So continuing this very random and incessant screaming, Light Feather's gonna cast Thunder Wave
Oh, okay.
in this area because it's a 15-foot cube. I don't know why that came up as a triangle. Probably because of this. Boom. To hit Warg 1 and 5. Constitution
sure.
Save.
Constitution save. Let's have a little look. Is there con? Right, so we'll go with Warg 1 first. That's a fail. 10. The roll does a fail.
Beautiful. Yes, it does.
Okay.
DC's
And
12.
Warg 5 rolls 14. So that one saves.
Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so Warg 5 takes 3 points of damage, and I'm sorry, Warg 1 is the one that saved, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Warg 1 takes 3 points, Warg 5 takes 6, and is pushed back 10 feet.
Okay. So basically, as you hit it, its body just scatters, just rolls backwards, dead. As a Warg 5 just goes off into the woods, off into the back of the path there. And Warg 1 took how many points? 3, did you say?
3 points, yeah.
Okay, lovely.
And then Light Feather is going to move here.
Mhm.
Again, still incessantly screaming. And then as a bonus action, hit him with the shillelagh.
Ooh, nice.
Nice, go for it, yeah.
That doesn't hit. Damn, it's a 9.
Okay. So we're on to Warg 2. Warg 2 now. You see that some of these wolves, they're going to retreat back into the wood line. Vanish. Most of the pack's dead. They've seen that they're outnumbered. And even Warg 1 does what? Turns and runs as well.
That's
Well
right.
done. Well done.
You get on the get. You're not taking my other leg. I'm Light Feather James.
You see that the townsfolk sort of put out the flames and managed to sort of keep that at bay. Valinda and Sterling are sort of like wounds are binded and they're sort of led back to the village in a bit of a state after that encounter.
I think before we leave, Elle would just, using her proficiency in medicine and animal handling, check one of the bodies of the wargs just to see if, at this point, she doesn't know what's going on, like for rabies or something like that. She's just looking to rule it out.
Make a check. Go on, go for it.
Okay. 13.
13. You basically, it's just like a big wolf looking thing that you've never seen before. You're not sure with a 13 whereabouts they would have come from, but then, the woods are vast and they could have all sorts of creatures in there. So why they've come this close to the village is also a bit of a mystery. So why would they, unless it's for food, possibly. You maybe think it's for food.
I think Thorn would probably walk up to where Elle is investigating and just kind of like plant his quarterstaff and just kind of look and just say, is it odd that there would be such aggression from these beasts?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this before, but all of the animals, I don't want to scare you about our town, but all of the animals have been acting real aggressive. The dog, sweetest thing ever. You saw him attack my dad last couple months.
It's
They've
been
all
happening
like
for
this.
months, you
Our
say.
cows are getting out at night, messing with other people's equipment, wrecking fences. This is never good.
It is ill-advised to mess with other people's equipment, indeed. I'm curious, do you find that there's perhaps some common thread between these animals? Are they feeding upon something? I have heard tale of poisonings and that sort of thing, magical or otherwise, natural in some cases as well, that maybe there's something in the food or something that's causing them to become rabid.
I mean, we're all looking at feeding them the same stuff. They're not. They don't have anything that I can tell. I mean, I've seen a lot of sick animals. This doesn't seem like anything I've ever seen before. But I mean, like I said, I've never seen wolves like this. This is new.
If you would stay with me for just a short period of time, 10 minutes, I could perhaps call upon the arcane energies and see if there's any sort of strange magical ensorcelment affecting these beasts. If that would be okay with the rest of you, just a moment to linger.
I'd like to help if I can with that, proficient in Arcana.
Yeah, and I'm gonna cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay.
Celeste is going to go over. So, do you say we're back in the?
You're going to head back to where
back to
Anna's place was. Yeah, it's basically back to that barn where everyone's kind of congregating now. When everyone's sort of tending to their wounds, everyone's a little bit shaken. They're getting like a mulled wine or a mead to settle their nerves.
So yeah, whoever's I'm gonna go to whoever's looking like the worst. Like Celeste's gonna go over to whoever's looking the worst. I imagine it would probably be Sterling.
Probably Sterling, yeah. Mauled and ragdolled.
She'll cast Cure Wounds on him.
He's just like, oh, thank you.
It's all right. You seem to take quite a beating back there. So I thought, so it's the least I can do. So that's there you go. You get 8. If I was to put a number on it, I would say you've got 8 extra hit points. So
he sort of grabs you by the jacket and goes, I thought I was going to die. And he just like starts weeping. He's like, I thought I was going to die.
Well, it's okay because you didn't die and you lived to see another day. And would you like a drink? I feel like you need a drink. Do you want a drink?
Please.
Mead?
Please.
Lovely. I'll go grab you a mead.
Okay.
There you go, darling.
Thank you. And while this is happening, we'll go over to Thornton. So you're casting Divine Detect Magic, yeah?
Yes. Yep. I just basically want to get an idea if there's anything weird going on, from a magical sense. Hey, real long shot. Hi. Welcome.
As you are detecting magic, you feel there's a very strange older magic that gives off from the forest and from the land around. It's older than anything you've experienced before and older than anything that's possibly in existence for something like a wizard. But it feels like the feeling is very sort of like it pushing back. There's like a very hostility towards this magic.
Is it associated with the warg as well?
Yeah, you can kind of get a sense that if it's not, it doesn't necessarily come off. It's not like on it, but it's kind of like you can feel there may have been some influence at play here.
So it's kind of an atmospheric rather than a specific source. Okay.
Yeah, you can feel it all around you. I mean, whichever way you turn, this forest is giving off this very sort of oppressive, hostile old magic.
He'll just sort of step back and look to Lightfeather James. There is some strange magical essence, almost an aura or I don't know what the word would be, but it seems to emanate from all around us, a low-level ensorcelment of the wood itself. The beasts give off a sense of magical essence as well, but it's not centered on anything. These woods are... What do you know of these woods? They seem to be the source of something ancient. An ancient magic, perhaps.
Lightfeather, like his grasp on his staff tightens. Like you can even hear it, like the wood and the skin of his hand kind of like brushing together. And he looks around to make sure that it's just the three of them standing there. And he goes, our town is cursed. No one in the village is going to speak about it, but you need to know the truth. And I know Elle here doesn't want me to talk about it, but it's happening and it needs to be addressed. Yeah.
You can tell us.
The woodland, there's stories. Stories of the old man of the woods and the witch of the wild. We do say that it's an old bedtime story to keep the kids in line. It's an old folksy tale, but most tales are based in truth. The witch, she was a healer. She very talented in her skills and the like, and she's a wonderful addition to our town. Well, something happened in the town. Calves started to die, and there's this substance, old, inky black. It was most uncommon, aggression, things like that. The town turned on the healer. They drove her into the woods. They were new. They didn't like you folk. But with new faces brings new fears, and it never happened, so the town figured it had to have been her. She drove them out to the woods and she screamed at us. Just words that still haunt some of us today, and even more so now. Just 3 days, 3 deaths, 3 eyes, 3 breaths. And it's happening.
What happens when these deaths? Is it the harbinger of something more terrible, or?
That's the thing. We don't know what happens.
How many
But it
deaths have
can't
there
be.
been? How many deaths have there been?
There's been shit. People already think that I'm crazy. The last thing they need to do is think you are as well, lest they drive you out into danger of the wood.
One thing I've learned, Lightfeather James, is what other people think of you is less important than what you think of yourselves. If you believe in this story, I will trust you. Please tell us everything you know.
There's been 2 deaths already.
My God.
And with what's happening with the animals, these wargs are a good sign of it too. It's not gonna get better unless this is addressed, and I don't know how to do it, and no one else is helping.
Well,
But
I didn't want to
we
tell
are.
you guys. I don't want to tell you guys this, but I did. This is not a story. This really happened. I went out a couple weeks ago after Mildred. It's my father's favorite cow, and they're all breaking out now, getting loose, wrecking stuff. I had
My
to go out and
God.
get them. So I went out past the Watchman one night. I was in the woods. I heard this music. I thought it was the cow at first. Maybe Freedom was making the cow sing. I don't know. I had a little bit of moonshine, but I heard music. And then I got real tired. Like I just sat down on a trunk for a minute. Stump. And then I woke up in the barn the next morning. I don't know what happened, but before I went out, I saw a tall, thin figure just
My
standing
God.
in the woods.
This
That was
song that you heard, this melody,
Mhm.
I heard something similar on my walk into town earlier today. Just a moment of it. It sounded as though it came from the wood itself, but I brushed it off as perhaps a memory of a beautiful melody that I'd heard, perhaps. But it
You
left
heard
me
it too?
unsettled. And now that you mention it, it sends a shiver up my spine, to be honest.
You didn't see anything out in the forest when you heard the music?
I didn't stop to look. I kept moving.
Well, that's lucky of you. That was creepy. I don't get scared easy, but that was a little creepy. This gotta be related. Who hears music out in the woods? Nobody. Ever. In these woods, for sure. Nobody goes out in these woods.
I am quite curious now about the story and the song. The magic, this ancient magic. I have a sense of it. I have been traveling to find sources of components and elements that could be useful in arcane rituals and the like. I run a small business, but there is something deeper at play here. I am dedicated to uncovering what it might be. If I can be of use to you and your townsfolk, then I shall be.
Perhaps your visit was more fortuitous than we first thought.
And as
Isn't
you
that
say
right,
that,
Jimmy?
My God.
and as you say that, Ben Corbin comes over and he's like, "We gotta get back to the village, guys. Let's not stay out here too long. It's starting to get dark. Let's go."
Of course.
Takes you all back to the village. You're all welcome to rest in the barn if you like, or go. Or Lightfeather and Ellie, are you going back to your own residences, or do you want to stay in the barn? Anna's quite happy for you all to camp down in the barn for the night, because that's where she's putting up Thord and Celeste. You all want to stay together.
I'll stay here if my ma and pa are back at the farm to take care of the kids.
Yeah, they've gone home. They never joined in with the wolf thing. They were like, "We got to look after the kids," and just went back. So Elle's staying in the same barn, yeah? And Lightfeather?
I'll stay in the same barn. Like if we're taking a rest, it's kind of funny. You actually see him like hit a corner and then like mold earth under him, and it's just his peg leg sticking out. He's just
So, as you're all resting for the night, everyone's calmed down, everyone's taken a drink, everyone's had some food, everyone's been patched up thanks to Celeste's sealing and other people doing their medicine thing. You're all, relaxing as Anna pulls out an old lute that used to be her husband's and just plays a little tune to kind of relax everybody as they all go off into their separate cottages and things. And she puts down some blankets and stuff for you guys for the night. And she's like, "Listen, I'll lock the door behind me when I go, so you guys will be safe in the barn, just in case. Just the night." And she looks out into the darkness and is like, "There's some strange things going on tonight. Rest well." And she just like closes the barn and you hear a locket behind her. So you all have a restful sleep. Can everybody give me their passive perceptions, please?
14.
13, 14, 14.
12.
12. So the two that were 14, That's Celeste and Elle. Yeah.
I was 13.
13. So it's Light Feather and Elle then. Yeah. As you're
Locals.
in the dead of night, the silence of the forest is suddenly broken. The sound of rustling from the trees. You sort of wake, sort of half asleep, half awake in that sort of weird in-between world. And you sort of look out of one of the barn's windows. And you see a figure emerge from the tree line. A tall, ominous figure. Creature fashioned from twisted and contorted briar, bone-dry branches, and a tree trunk infested with loads of paws. Its long and cruelly bent sickle is adorned with the corpses of different animals, some that still appear to twitch. The creature's formless head of aged wood is raised slowly as it scans the area, emitting a mournful drone. It's going, Despite having no visible eyes, it seems to be searching for someone or something with an eerie determination. Its animated amalgamation of broken branches, twigs, and animal bones held together by rusted wire. The creature seems to be driven by both anger and decay. You can, as you kind of peer over the window, you see that its head is basically just like a sack full of God knows what with a sheep's jaw attached to it. The hands and legs of creatures are nothing more than bent branches, and they move along out of the woods with like a weird spidery jerky motion, as if it was seeing constant pain as it drags itself out. You see it heads towards up the path to Kostya's farmstead. And it knocks on the door 3 times. What would you like to do?
That's where we are, right?
No, you're in Anna's place, but you can see up the road. You're down here, but you can see up. You can, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a little bit closer than the map suggests. But yeah, you can sort of see up the road and see this thing just come out of the woods, stop, look all around, scanning, turn and head up to this farmstead, stand outside the door, which for a cottage, it's vastly bigger than the cottage, it's than the door frame, and just knocks on the door 3 times.
Jimmy, are you seeing this?
Yep. I'm seeing it.
What is it?
Ah!
It's
Sorry. What? Sorry about that. I didn't mean to startle you, Light Feather James, but what is that?
Would I know what that is?
History or Arcana, if you like.
Does that ring any like visual bells for me and my?
You have a suspicion from weeks or days before that the figure that you saw in the woods before you went unconscious was possibly very similar.
17 history.
17 history. You have heard of stories, again, much like any sort of old folklore tales, like, you know, like if the Blair Witch, things like that, the Hollow Man. You've heard folklore stories of this thing that comes out, it collects something from somebody and goes back into the woods. Now, the story goes that this is an emissary of the Witch of the Wilds.
Okay.
And it's been sent. It always gets sent for a reason.
Light Feather kind of like sits on his butt, like under the windowsill, and he's like, that's the Hollow Man. It's the old which is kind of like stooge, what have you. He's collecting over at the farmstead. What are we supposed to do?
We can't stop him from collecting, can we? I mean, I'm ready to go out there, but it's just us. Did you see that sickle?
Did everyone want to give me perception checks?
18.
18.
6.
17.
Like,
Sleeping.
Celeste is the
So
least perceptive
terrible dice.
person.
15 for me.
15. Basically, as you're talking, you notice the door of this cottage begins to open. And you see that it's Costure's wife opens the door and she just gets pushed aside, like as if she was nothing. And the thing just bows its head under the door cottage and goes in. And as you're watching this happen, you hear like a scuffle. And then the light goes out in the cottage. And the hollow man bows back underneath the cottage and walks back out carrying something in its hand.
Something?
It's heading
No.
What's the something?
Depends. Do you want to have another? Do you want to try and get closer, or do you want to have a look?
No, this is
I do.
well. I want to get closer. Like once they go start to go back into the woods.
Yep.
I think like James tries. Well, fuck, the door's locked.
Shit had to have been barred from the
Outside.
Is it
It's
wise?
outside
No,
'cause
we
it's a
can't get out
barn.
anyway.
I mean, you can go through the windows.
I'm
There's
going through the
windows.
window. It's go
Like
through the
Feather
window.
James,
Like
is it wise to interfere with the folklore of the wood in this way? Oh, geez.
I'm not interfering with no damn wood. I'm trying to see what happened.
This
Because
is
in
our
Light Feather,
town.
yeah.
We have roots here. Not like his roots. Well, let's I'll help him out if I need to, because I'll go
Right.
after him.
Okay. Well, is Celeste joining? Is Thor joining? What are you guys doing?
Celeste is gonna sit there and watch, and she's just gonna very quietly, because she is terrified. She came here because she thought she was gonna get a bit of money out of it. She's gonna very silently stare at, watch James leaving via the window, pull out the flute, play like 2 little notes, and James has bardic inspiration because she's like, I need help. That's as much as I can do. So you've got a D6.
that bardic inspiration as he plops on the other side. You just hear, well, Light Feather James. He's inspired now.
I'm Celeste.
So, are you staying in the barn then, Celeste? Is that what you're doing?
Celeste is absolutely staying in the barn.
Perfect.
She is.
Sees this thing and just like, definitely not.
Nope.
Thor?
Fuck that.
What are you doing, Thor? Are you following or are you staying behind?
Thor definitely announces, I think I will stay behind. This seems quite dangerous. Oh, shit. And he climbs
Also-
through the window and follows.
Celeste is conflicted.
Celeste's losing her fucking mind.
Oh no, Paw Paw escaped again. We gotta go get him.
Yeah, Celeste's not going to. I think she's. Because so is everybody. Is Elle gone as well, or is Elle still in the barn? Elle's gone as well.
Oh, she
I
went out
followed
with Light
Jimmy
Feather.
along.
Oh, you followed- you followed.
And
Yeah, Celeste's gonna be like losing her shit, just like, well, I can't. Like, it's, oh god, I fucking hate this place so much, and she's gonna like try and follow because she doesn't want to be in this barn by herself
Okay.
either.
Okay.
And yeah, she's gonna just follow very quietly in this brightly coloured outfit with the purple hair, you know,
Why not?
subtle. Good
So
for a
are-
stealth mission.
Are you guys going to head up to Costure's? Is that where you're headed? Or are you following the Hollow Man?
I'm heading to Cautious. I want to see what he took.
Okay.
Like I want to know what he took. That's me
Okay.
personally.
Okay. So do you want to give me stealth checks then, all of you? Because he's still kind of not far from...
Kind of
Where-
want to follow the Hollow Man, see what he's good. Well, this is the safer route. I'll follow Jimmy.
You're going to see either way, probably.
Would you say that we're lightly obscured?
I would say so, yeah.
Cool.
Come on.
I mean, you're under
Okay.
the cover of darkness.
Uh-oh.
It's the village is not lit at all, so it's pitch dark.
5.
Celeste should have
5.
stayed in the barn. I got a 9.
Oh,
9.
you guys. 23.
23.
Got an 8. But so I have Mask of the Wild though. I don't know
Okay.
if that can like help me in any form with this.
With an 8, I'm going to say no this time.
It's just this
think-
old man.
Just
Yeah, and I
And,
think
so-
Thord was like pulling himself through the window. Is that where we went through the window?
you went through the window
Yeah,
and
he
then
just
out.
falls flat on his face as he's coming. Yo! And just makes a loud ruckus as he lands in the dirt.
So as you are stealthily, we'll put air quotes on that, get into Costa's farmstead, you see through the door, his wife is unconscious on the floor. And as you look down in the doorway, a pool of blood under his body, and you realize that his head is missing.
I think I found out what that thing took.
Hmm.
His head's off.
Go get,
And I
go
just-
get AR.
And as you look, you see the Hollow Man is standing about 30, 40 yards in front of you, with his back to you, with Costa's head in its hand as he slowly turns back towards you.
Close the door.
Is that part of the lore? That he makes off with the head?
Elle slams the door shut.
Yeah.
Are you going into the cottage, are you?
Oh, yeah. I think we all
Okay.
come in.
Just to kind of like
I-
step
I'll speak
in
for
just
myself,
a little
but-
bit.
That's fine.
If everyone's in, I'll slam the door.
Yeah, that's fine. If you're going to go in the
Awesome.
cottage, slam the door. So basically, are you going to then just hide in here, yeah?
I'm going to first administer to the wife.
She's blackout, unconscious. There's no, she's just bark out.
Okay.
Are you watching what's happening out the window by any chance, or are you just going to
Yes.
leave him be?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Watching
He
this hollow man.
basically, he stops, he turns, looks at you all dive in the door,
Oh.
turns back towards the woods and just carries on with his prize and disappears into the woods. But what you notice as he heads back into the woods is you lose sight of him as soon as he enters the wood line. It's like he vanishes. He just it sort of disperses amongst the trees. It's very difficult to pick out which direction he went, as if the woods just kind of like, welcome back.
There's your 3.
Hey,
Well, if there was any question of what the 3s would bring, I think we're about to find out.
Okay.
What would you like to do? Do you want to head back? Because it's the dead of night. There's no threat anymore.
We've got a dead body to deal with here, and this poor woman lays unconscious, not knowing what's happened to her husband.
She's going to be all right, though. I mean, physically.
Should we do something with the body of the man here?
Let's take
Leave
it out
it.
around back.
Leave it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't
Crime
touch
scene.
it. don't touch it. Don't.
I
don't do
wasn't
that.
about to. I don't know what the rituals and customs are here of how you deal with your dead. Simply making a suggestion that this poor woman is going to have quite the shock when she comes to. Oh my goodness.
Well,
Is there anybody of an authority that is it Errol? That
Mhm.
man? He seemed
Yeah.
quite sort of in charge-ish, sort of mayoral potentially. Would it be wise to? No, James, you don't seem to be particularly happy with me saying that, James.
It's-
Just is there anybody who we can maybe like tell before we start moving bodies and shifting things and interfering? I mean, obviously we'll help Mrs. Kostya here, but I don't know if is there an authorities we can tell?
Elle will pick up the wife,
She's starting to come round now.
try to angle her so she can't see the headless husband, and try to take her into the other room.
I think
so
She's
Thor,
sort of like got very bloody head, and she's just like, why are you in my house? What's happened? Why are you in my house?
What do you remember?
I just answered the door, and that was it. Someone knocked 3 times, and I opened the door, and then, why are you here? Where's my husband? And she's trying to push past you.
Thord is
Evil.
meanwhile covering the body with the sheet.
You don't want to go in there right now.
She's like trying to struggle with you to get, where's my husband?
Which part? I didn't say that.
Wow.
Oh God.
I maybe muttered it under my breath.
Do you
Just
want to?
sit
Do you want to
down.
make? Can you, Elle? Can you give me a we'll contest strength? See if she can get past you.
Okay. Mean. Mm, 7.
Natural 1. So you basically just
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
hold her off, and she's just like, "Where's my husband? Where is he?"
I mean, if she's getting crazy, I'm gonna let her go. But
Yeah. So she just runs past you. Is this just as Thord's putting like a blanket over the
Hopefully.
body? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just like just lets out this massive like ear piercing scream. And as you look out the window, you see other cottages are starting to light up and like, what's going on? Hear this scream.
Okay, well, the cat's out of the bag now.
It's just Lightfeather is gonna go get Errol,
Okay.
but he's gonna go to Errol's home and have a conversation with him about this before
Okay.
there's people around.
Okay. Are you guys staying at the farmstead with the wife, or are you following Lightfeather?
I don't really know what Celeste's gonna do. I think
Also,
I
I guess to help with your decision, Lightfeather doesn't announce this. He just goes.
Oh, okay. He just
Yeah.
goes. Okay.
oh yeah, well
Yeah.
Celeste won't follow then. I think Celeste will stay here and be traumatized.
Ella's actually gonna walk out the door too, unannounced, and see if she can track to the edge of the woods, not into the woods, but to the edge.
Okay. Cool.
Any-
If you
Thing that might tell me more about this hollow man and his tracks with survival.
Sure. Give me a check. What check do you think you would give me for that?
I think. Okay, well, I think survival.
Yeah.
Probably I'm proficient in it, and
Give you survival.
okay,
Go for it.
15.
15. There are no tracks to speak of. You're looking everywhere on the floor. You can see nothing. There's no tracks whatsoever. This thing is not leaving anything behind, apart from a small spattering of blood as it goes off into the forest. That's about all it's leaving behind.
Okay. I'll
Hmm.
return back to the house of Gore.
Thord, are you sticking around? Are you following? Or you?
Yeah, I
you're
think
sticking around?
as Elle and Lightfeather James leave, he just looks awkwardly at this hysterical woman and just sort of like, oh, okay. And he just kind of goes over there and kind of pats her on the back awkwardly. There, ma'am. It's a horrible tragedy, but your husband's death is not for nothing. I'm sure the authorities in town will get to the bottom of it, and this will lead to some justice that will be served. And I'm sure that there's plenty of townsfolk that he's just trying to like console her, saying anything that comes into his mind to try to keep her calm and
Okay.
diffuse the
fine.
situation
Yeah.
as best he can.
She's basically just like sobbing over her husband. But yeah, it's kind of like some kind of help, if any help is what that can be given, as you both are trying to console this woman.
Celeste's gonna do the same thing. I think Celeste's going to do. She's gonna see that Thor's kind of like actually with her, and then she's gonna do what she has always been taught is the way to push through things, and also the way that I've been taught to push through things. She's gonna see where the kettle is and make a cup of tea.
Why not?
Like,
Yeah, perfect.
that's the thing. She'll find a blank. She'll probably find like while the kettle's doing its thing. Or the pot. She's gonna go into like the one of the rooms and try and find some form of like blanket or soft object and like wrap it around this woman, and just try and be like very soothing. Just quietly help while Thord's like talking to her, and she knows that too many voices are just going to be very like it's going to be a lot. So she's just quietly
Perfect.
doing that.
So we'll head over to Lightfeather then as he's heading towards Errol's place. And obviously the village is now kind of heard the scream. They're waking up. You see again, Corbin and his guys are just like, what's going on as they come out of their little cottage? as they see you coming down the road. What the hell's going on? What was that scream?
It's not. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. Okay. And I'm
Where's-
just focusing on staying with Errol.
But are you heading towards his place? Yeah.
Yeah.
Errol's
Yeah. I'm
place.
heading-
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
So
Errol's
basically,
place.
you just like give them the brush off and then carry on going. And they're like, what's going on? As you just blast straight past them. Yeah, not giving them any info. Fair enough. So as you get to Errol's, he's coming like yawning, coming out of his house. James,
Errol
what the fuck are you doing here?
kind of like shuffles and put him back into his house. Errol,
Oh, fine.
he's number 3. We saw it. We saw it. Me,
What?
El, we saw him. The hollow men came for Castian's head.
That can't be. No. That's
Errol.
that.
You know as well as I know that I pride my sleep over everything. Do you think I would be at your home in the middle of the night telling you this if it wasn't true? We saw it. We saw it happen, Errol. We watched it and couldn't do anything.
It can't. It's the night, the wolves. It was whatever you've been taking. It's the mead. Come on, you didn't see.
Errol, it wasn't just me that saw it.
Where are they? Where's everybody else? You've turned up on your own.
Yes, because they're at the Castor farm dealing with his wife who just lost her husband. The hollow man came in, took his head, and went back into the wood. What are you going to do about this?
Well, no one can go out at night. No one leaves their cottage at night. We
No one left. It came in. It came for us.
but-
No one was in the woods.
Then we get some people to patrol. It's fine.
So,
We'll deal with
so
it.
they can lose their heads too. Errol,
He just goes and slumps back into his chair and he's like, I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen.
anything? That's 3. What do we do now?
We're going to have to call a town meeting and let everybody know. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Maybe people will get out of the village for a while and take shelter somewhere else. Ride out the storm, maybe. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Yes, that's exactly what we'll do.
We'll run. After everything that we've built in this small town in our corner of the world, you want to leave it all behind.
I mean, the woods will reclaim its own eventually. I mean, we're on borrowed time, James. Borrowed time.
Is there something that I know with like my history that can be done
Um,
and that Errol's kind of like avoiding to do?
Well, essentially, you know, again, the folklore, the myth behind it, that the only thing that it comes this story comes up every so often, but it's the only thing that kills this thing is fire. That's the only thing you know of. There's an old nursery rhyme that goes, knock, 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 the hollow man calls. Swing, 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 his greedy sickle falls. Chop, 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 he takes another head. Burn, 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 the hollow man is dead. And this is a rhyme that you have heard throughout your time as a half elf in this place. It's a kind of a, like, do you know, like the kids would like with a skipping rope sing like
Yeah.
like that, very much like that. And it's kind of lost its meaning over time.
Errol, you know running isn't going to take care of this.
Okay, well, yes. We rest, we go back to bed, we sleep, we come back to this with a clear head in the morning, and we tell everybody what's going on, and then they make their decisions what they want to do. If they want to stay, they stay. If people want to leave, we can't make them stay. They can leave, and then we'll figure out what we can do. I mean, he sort of like stands up and he grabs like Feather by the shoulders and he's like, do you think she's coming back?
Yeah,
You think it's time?
I think it is. I think it's for the comeuppance.
And he slumps back down in his chair and he's just head in his hands and he just doesn't know what to say. Are you going to turn and leave, or are you going to...
Yeah, like I kind of like slowly like turns to leave, and then before he leaves the door, he looks at Arrow and he goes,
We know what happened was wrong. And this entire time we did nothing about it. We took a terrible situation because of our own blind, uneducated fear. And now this is what happens. We can run, but I feel like we need to stay. And we need to face this. We're the villains here. We did wrong. And this is our judgment. But I'm not going to take it with only one leg. You think on that, Arrow. And then he leaves.
Okay. So we're going to... I think that's a good opportunity to end it there, actually. To be honest.
What the actual fuck is going on around here? First of all, this town is... There's something wrong here.
You shouldn't have come.
I know. Time to leave. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think you can do any better than that. I think that's a good opportunity to end it there with the ominous warning from the...
well done. Well done. Oh my God. You guys, seriously, this town is messed up. What did you do? I can't wait to find out. What did you do?
I think I should have gone somewhere else.
Oh,
Wrong turn
man.
in Albuquerque.
Well,
Right?
way to leave it on a very wonderful cliffhanger for next week. Thank you so much, you guys.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. This is an awesome group, but this story is creepy as hell, and I can't wait to find out what happens next. Shiv, thank you once again for bringing this to the Guild Superior world.
you.
We're thrilled to have you back behind the GM screen, and this is crazy. I know you've got a lot in store for us, and I'm excited to see what happens.
I'll wait.
Thanks to everybody who's been hanging out with us in the chat. This is part 1 of a 4-part series that Shiv's bringing, and this table of players is going to be hanging out on the next couple of Saturdays to see what happens. Thank you for being here as part of this, and hope you'll be back next week to find out what happens next. Go around the table here and do some outros. Sound good? Yeah. Let's
definitely.
Shiv, why don't you kick us off, man?
Yes, hello. I'm Shiv, your humble dungeon master for this evening, and many more for the next couple of weeks. Yes, you can find me over at IOShiv on all the social medias. Check me out this Thursday again for Homebrew Havoc Season 2. We're playing that. And yes, I'll be back again for episode 2 of this wonderful game with this wonderful group as we delve deeper into the Whisperwoods and find out what the actual fuck's going on. That is me. Thank you very much.
Well done, sir. Well done. Let's go to Tony next.
Hi, I've been Tony, and I've been playing Celeste, the absolutely shit-scared human bard. And you can find me pretty much everywhere and anywhere as Tony Shaw on varying platforms, Twitter, Instagram mostly. And yeah, you can find me on the Roll the Damn Dice YouTube channel, and you can find me with Shiv on Thursdays for Homebrew Havoc Season 2 as well.
Glad to have you, Tony, and just welcome to the channel. It's great to have you to be part of this. Shiv, thanks for helping make connections. That's something that I really love, is connecting with new people. So thank you so much. It's great to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been really good. I mean, I've been really scared, but in a good way. The best way.
I'm seeing a pattern, Shiv, where you like lull us into this just a wonderful setting. It's just a beautiful,
bring it all
you
in.
know, bucolic sort of vibe, and then twist the lore on us. I love it. Speaking of twisted in all the right ways, let's go over to your boy Big Ian.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ian, or your boy Big on all social media. And I played Light Further James, which I'm having an absolute blast doing. And I'm so happy to be here on this Saturday. Can't wait for the next 3 sessions. But yeah, if you want to see what I'm doing next, just follow me on Twitter or any social media. It's all the same all around. And yeah, see you guys next week.
Glad to have you back, Ian. Very excited to see where we go with this Light Feather James character. He's freaking awesome. Love those business cards. Amazing. Shelly.
Hey, I'm gonna just finish wiping the sweat off the palms of my hands first. This was so great. I'm so thankful that I'm in this cool group doing this thing. You can find me out in the world at Hey It's Flea Monkey, Instagram, and I don't know, whatever else, who cares. Also on Tuesdays doing the Greyhawk back here. So excited for next Saturday. Just dude, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Always awesome to have you in the party, Shelly. I know it's going to get goofy when you're around, and I love it. You guys, you know me, I'm Dave. I'm here all the time, and I really appreciate you all being here with us today as we dive into the Tales from the Whisperwood. We are going to raid into Captain Owlbear and make sure that when we do, you give them a bunch of Guild Superior love. Again, we really appreciate y'all being here. Tuesday, we'll be back with Here's a Greyhawk. We'll have this game coming up, session 2 of Tales from the Whisperwood next Saturday, and more coming in the future with more games. Come on over and hang out with us in the Discord if you want to learn how to play some Shadow Dark and give that a try. We've been having a lot of fun with that. We're going to go ahead and raid into our friends over at Captain Owlbear. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, everybody.